Okay. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Ilham. Good morning. I guess it's
Morning. Yeah.
11 in your place, right?
Well, it sounds still considered morning.
Uh, well, can you open your camera, please?
Oh yeah. Wait a second. Wait a second. Sorry. What? Hi.
There you
Right.
go.
Sorry. I don't have a table yet. That's why this is my location right now.
It's fine. It's fine. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your time.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's an honor.
Thank you for coming for this today event Bincang Santai, acara Bincang Santai. Pada kali ini adalah program dari KKN Universitas Jenderal Negeri Sudirman. Di sini Mr. Dirham Sudana dari University Utara Malaysia, am I correct?
Yes, correct.
Well, today, as the title says, we're going to discuss about about akuntansi digital for UMKM or small business, micro and medium.
SME, right?
Yes,
Okay.
MSME. Okay, for the presenter, please. Next slide, please. So, Mr. Dirham, can you fill out what is the basics of accountancy?
Sure. Yeah. For accounting, dasar akuntansi ya. Kita mulai dari akuntansi dulu. Akuntansi, to put it simple, adalah adalah proses untuk mencatat, mengklasifikasi, meringkas, mengelompokkan, mengolah, menyajikan, dan akhirnya adalah untuk menggunakan data-data tersebut yang sudah dikompil menjadi financial report untuk membantu dalam decision making dalam sebuah entity. Kita lanjut. Selanjutnya adalah proses dalam akuntansi. To put it simple, proses dalam akuntansi bisa dibagi jadi 4 sisi saja. Yang pertama adalah pencatatan, di mana untuk kita mencatat hal-hal dalam data, dan data-data yang kita klasifikasikannya itu adalah proses kedua, meringkas dan mengklasifikasi. Setelah data sudah tertata rapi dan sudah terklasifikasi, kita bisa menyusun data-data tersebut dalam laporan yang kita gunakan untuk to make financial report. After that, setelah itu kita bisa menggunakan financial report tersebut untuk kita analisis untuk membantu melakukan decision making. I'm really sorry it's mixing Indonesian and English because there are some words that I can't really convert Indonesian quite well enough. Okay, moving on. Moving on is the basic of accounting as akuntansi, right? Well, for the basics, the biggest basics, accounting is following the biggest one is the concept of debit and credit. It's something that is always going to be important because debit and credit, or activa and passiva, must be equal. Debit is assets and credit is liability, plus equity asset. Aset adalah aktiva dan untuk pasiva adalah kewajiban atau piutang tambah modal perusahaan atau equity. Itu adalah dasar yang paling penting. Ada juga hal-hal penting lainnya, tapi itu adalah yang paling penting untuk menjaga pada sisi aktiva dan sisi pasiva untuk balance. Oke, next one adalah siklus akuntansi. Well, siklus akuntansi, tahapan yang digunakan untuk siklus akuntansi ini adalah untuk menghasilkan financial report yang benar dan sistematis. Nggak cuma harus benar, harus efisien juga, dan pokoknya kalau financial report itu muncul, harus bisa mungkin sebanyak orang untuk mengerti dan bisa mengambil decision dengan mudah dari membaca laporan tersebut. Harus jelas dan harus truthful. Yang dimaksud dari siklus ini tuh ada beberapa proses penyusunan. Siklusnya ada 3 tahapan, dimulai dari pencatatan tadi, pembuatan data, setelah itu membuat ikhtisar laporan keuangan, dan akhirnya adalah untuk membuat dan menyajikan financial report yang sudah berdasarkan dari data tadi. Oke. Moving on.
Mr. Dirham, do you reckon what is the main problem for MSME itself?
The main
The
problem,
main problem.
the biggest problem of all, mostly is from my experience, because in last semester, my in my course of accounting and system designing, actually, I was tasked in a group of 5 to find small businesses in Malaysia and then find out what's wrong with their systems, for what is troubling them, and then we design system for them. And all three of the no five, yeah, all 5 of the SME that I found doesn't have any dedicated supplier. not to mention, not to mention, they have a bit bad practice. They don't have segregation of duties or any good internal control as well. That is the biggest problem I look at them. Like, and of course they don't have good relations, right? They just started out. They only have little bit, very little of equity, so they don't really, they have very little equity and don't really have that much of relations. So it's hard for them to actually cut up to the market. Also, not to mention, not all of them are, what's the word? Nggak semuanya itu loh. Nggak semuanya menggunakan sistem accounting yang benar dan baik yang benar. Itu adalah hal yang paling parahnya.
Okay. Do you reckon is the starting in MSME, the starting part is the hardest, right? Penanaman modalnya itu kayak
Yes.
kayak
Betul sekali.
how can you use accounting as a means to get an investor? Maybe you can show maybe the
Well,
prospect, the growth of the company. Maybe
if you can make a projection, if you can make based on facts and based on maybe other similar goods and products. Let's say if you're selling a goods, right? And then you're making a projection based on what the market is and how it's not volatile and how it has a, I won't say constant raise, but yeah, there is a fluctuation of. And then if you can make the financial, if you can make the financial report about that, about the projection, I think you can. But especially if you're a startup, if you're an SME, it's going to be hard, because even if you are sure that this is true, not much will trust you, because you don't have name, you don't have a brand to back it up. But surely you can try.
that is quite an interesting statement, if I must say. So, do you reckon accounting in general would be a huge leverage for MSME if they can menerapkan dalam perusahaan UMKM tersebut? Apakah itu mungkin akan menambah poin plus atau mungkin akan menaikkan survivability, or what do you think, Mr. Dirham?
Oh, kalau untuk menaikkan survivability itu pasti sih. Karena tanpa accounting, accounting itu dibuat seperti yang saya bilang, seperti yang sudah saya mulai di awal tadi. Accounting itu adalah proses pencatatan, bla bla bla, banyak hal tadi adalah kan. Nah, dalam account, yes, tuh ada penginput, proses pengoutput. People need to actually understand what this means and how to. They need to learn, right? Maybe I don't know. Maybe if you're a philosopher. I don't know, maybe if you're a philosopher or something, you can do this thing without learning accounting. But then again, if you can, probably the process is going to be slow, or there are going to be a lot of unnecessary steps hindering you. That's the thing. You actually need to learn accounting, and take the time and money. But after that, it's not going to be a breeze, of course, but it will help you, because you will understand how to actually manage your finances with them. That's why it's very important, I think.
Can you break down it into maybe simpler terms, because I've tried myself to launch a small business but it didn't go well. Maybe it's because I just work it on impulse. There's probably the cause, and I don't have any future projection. Can you please give more simpler terms into the basics of accounting, if you can?
What do you want by what do you mean by simple terms? Because
how-
as I recall,
how should I-
everything you're telling is really like,
How should I put this? What can you say? What can you say for people with no basics on economy, on basics on accounting, to learn? Can they learn it by themselves, or should they just hire
Oh.
accountant, or
these
do you
days,
have any
this
easy, not easy, any tricks, any steps that we can follow so we can apply
okay.
accounting easily in our life?
okay. For I suggest you have to learn it. You can of course hire an accountant for you can leave it to them, but you still need to learn it. Especially if you are the owner, because why? Because you need to know where does everything went, where does your money went, where is it allocated to, and then even though you have an accountant, you can't really, if you don't understand it or anything at all, you can't really infer to him or her, the accountant, what you want, what's the direction of the company you want, right. So probably you have to take a class or something. This age, there is a lot of ways to learn accounting just on YouTube. There is this, I've seen a lot of CFA course, I've seen a lot of accounting course, like a whole 11-hour lecture video in YouTube, and I've seen some like 1 to 3 hours of it, and they're really pretty good. But of course, if you can get a real lecture, if you can get a real lecture about accounting, about the basics of accounting, how to make financial report, how to read financial report, that is going to be the most important thing. Untuk membuat dari paling pertama sih masing-masing accounting yang paling pentingnya adalah untuk membuat akun-akun itu kan, akun ini apa yang aset, apa yang aktiva, apa yang pasiva, apa ini aset. Oke, building aset, building adalah aset, uang termasuk aset, tapi uang itu liquid sekali jadi bisa untuk hal lain. Habis itu pasif, piutang, short term apa long term bisa dibedakan juga. Lalu ada equity modal kadang juga ada dividen segala macam kan. Pertama harus mengetahui itu dan harus bisa membaca kemana di dalam reportnya, kemana uangnya itu berjalan. Setelah itu baru Anda bisa mungkin mencoba menjalankan startup apa namanya, SME. Apalagi kalau ada ownernya ya. Walaupun Anda bisa juga meng-hire accountant, which actually will cost a lot. I don't think you have a lot of spare money, right? If you
Fair point.
you are SME.
Fair point.
Yeah, right. It's like, why not? Learning accounting is hard, yes, but for the basics, it's not that hard. Like how to read it, and if you do it every day, if you are willing to actually make sure that you want your business to actually grow bigger, it's an extra skill in your life to add in the repertoire. Why not, right? There's also a lot of other things like good management, good governance, but usually that's a course only given to economic students.
Oh yeah, speaking about management, are there any difference between regular accounting, finance accounting, between management accounting? I thought there's two brands, or I don't know.
There is a lot of branches of accounting. There is a lot of branches: normal accounting, management accounting, financial accounting. I myself am currently focusing on financial accounting. Because what mostly I do with dealing with the financial report and also tracking it down, because I aim to be an auditor, right? I want to learn how to truly pinpoint everything in the financial report, and then if I can see any discrepancy, I can just track it down to see the culprit, and then start investigation, stuff like that.
Something like French accounting,
What?
Forensic accounting is the a forensic auditor.
Forensic. Okay,
Auditor.
yeah, yeah. Forensic accounting. Forensic accounting is what I'm doing right now. Actually, yes. I start with financial, and now I'm going with forensic now.
Actually, that's a topic for my thesis, my ongoing thesis. So maybe I should contact you for
Go,
furthermore.
sure, why not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm still in my vacation right now.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Thank you very much
No, no,
for
no, it's
coming.
okay. What I'm saying, I'm on vacation is I have a lot of time. I just moved city from Kedah. Right now I'm KL, and so I don't have a lot of stuff right now. Yeah, I mean it's huge. It's bigger space, but I literally have nothing to do. I just keep writing and watching YouTube.
So yeah, accounting. It can be used as a means to grow business. It can. Is it in terms of management accounting? What is the main pivot, main vital point in managing a company, and especially MSME, to make it survive? If you can enlighten us, maybe.
Okay. In management, what is the most important resources?
Yes.
What do you think? What is the most important resources in management? Just top of your head.
Maybe the person itself. If I.
True, correct. People. People is what makes things work. People is what makes the gear turn. People is what makes the world is turning from up to down. Because without people, there can be nothing. And by the way, people is like you can be people can be inferred to those who are working with you, those who are working under you, and your consumers. So in that sense, for management accounting, first you need it's a cost accounting basically, right? So what I mean is you have to get the best possible people with the lowest possible expense, and also you have to target your definitive market correctly so that you can cut through the market. For simple terms, I think it's like that, right? Because management accounting is concerned with identification, measurement, analysis, and interpretation of accounting information. They are focusing themselves on those. Why? Because those four helps very much for managers to make informed, sorry, to make managers to make operate optional, no, optional decisions for the entity itself.
So
My God.
management and finances is equally important in a business, if you can say like that, right?
Yes, all fun fact, all
Oh,
accountings too. I mean,
so it's
all,
like
all the important.
it's like a system, like what, like a body, if I can say like
Yes, yes, because accounting in itself, just accounting, it's nothing. It's nothing because it's just a way to read. It's just a way to infer information and make information into a better manner, like in financial reports, right? If it's just that, it's nothing. With management, you can. With people, you can. With how to better on people, you can how to treat. You can how to treat people. You can how decide to have a good business, good business practice. You can have a lot of other stuff. And same with everything. Like there is no, I think, right, at least in Malaysia, maybe in Indonesia as well, no accounting student who truly just accounting. Like I myself have law, I have to study law as well, right? And then I have to study tax, I have to study management as well. There's a lot. It like if I went to management, most of the courses are actually management, from management ethics and human management, right?
management
And all that
ethics.
stuff.
Ethics.
Yes, I mean I do have that as well, but that is only truly management class I have. I mean I do have management accounting, but it's easy.
Sounds interesting, to be honest.
Yeah, it is. until you went to the class, and then you see the book you need is actually costing like 200 ringgit or so. And they're like, oh, that's the third, no, that's the fifth book I need for this semester. But usually, for in my case, thankfully, the library of my college has a lot of selections of it, right? I can just borrow one, and then I can photocopy it myself. And then I can return it, and then I can use the photocopy with myself.
So yeah,
It's encouraged, actually.
yeah, MSME is a big part in economy actually, right?
Going right.
In Indonesia,
Yes.
according to statistics, it's about
60?
50%,
Wasn't it?
60%, 70% of business.
Yes.
The large corporation only quarter of all. So,
True.
but why MSME cannot reach the height of like the corporation? What do you think about the situation about MSME?
So the situation is actually very similar to what I faced in Malaysia right now, because the numbers shows SME has 60% as well in here. But as you said, it's not cutting. It's not, like I said before, it's not cutting into the big market. It's not cutting there. The first factor, yeah, why it's like that is because normal people, customer, they don't really, what's the word? Not trust. They don't really. They're not. They're not really aware of SMEs.
Like stigma maybe, like their pandangan mereka mungkin.
Betul.
Mereka ngelihat
mereka ngelihat lokal.
UMKM bisnis kecil itu enggak, there is no value, there is no
enggak reliable.
No pride in buying their product maybe that's.
Padahal barang-barang lokal itu bisa bagus, bukan selalu bagus ya. Saya bilang bisa bagus, dan harganya hampir selalu murah, hampir selalu murah. Dan karena itu lokal, mereka harusnya bisa menggunakan feedback dari sekitar mereka untuk constantly upgrade their business practice. Jadi faktor paling penting yang paling besar setahu saya adalah itu kurangnya awareness untuk mensupport barang-barang lokal. Like beneran loh, banyak banget kan SME, banyak banget yang kecil itu. Tapi orang di mana-mana kalau perlu barang, kalau mau ini itu, milihnya adalah barang luar. Ini dong, lihat, ada orang nge-break, pasti di mana ada orang nge-break. Ini barang luar, ini brand ini. Mungkin itu juga yang kedua, karena SME, karena mereka baru-baru, mereka kecil, mereka juga nggak punya established brand. Itu mungkin faktor yang lainnya. Tapi they don't really have a choice. They literally either just started or actually it's very small. And if the people around them don't give them any actual chance, then how come they flourish? That is, I think.
Well, to be quite honest, it is actually quite rare for MSME to what should I say? Go international, forget international, go national.
Forget international. Go national is hard enough, right?
International is forget about it for a moment.
International
first, yes, national market first.
National first, correct.
Why is it so hard for, like, it is your local product, you know? How can MSME break through? That is actually I've read it is the most common question amongst economics. Why can't small business flourish more, like bisa lebih berkembang gitu kan dibandingkan dari itu.
Karena
it's quite a paradox, you know, between the numbers is big. It's like
true, right?
Almost three quarter of the number set is MSME is 3/4 of the usaha yang ada di secara nasional gitu.
Tuh. as you said, numbers don't lie. By the way, numbers don't lie.
Yes.
Numbers don't lie. Numbers never lie. I mean,
If
except if
yeah.
the one who put the number is lying. Okay, but for me personally, I think they're not those that are actually have surplus. Those that are actually seeing success. Not all of them are used to actually get that money, so they will seek help. And most often than not, sometimes if they seek help from total strangers offering them sweet deals, it's usually a honey trap.
Yes.
Then they fell. And
Such a shame.
where can they seek help? They can't.
They can't.
And then after that, it's just dead because they have to start anew.
Start.
That is most what I think is happening.
Yeah.
Especially if you are a SME, if you're used, like see, if you're an SME and then it's 1 year, it's you have been doing this for 1 year, and then suddenly as a famous celebrity came to your place and they're like, oh, I really like this, and then he posted on Instagram, and it will be famous, right? A lot of people will come, but not only that, a lot of people will come, other things will also come to you. Other things that know that your business is like, maybe not a lot, maybe because you're SME, right? And it's not going to last long. But other things also came to you and also offer you deals, offer you a lot of deals. Like, I could manage your money, I could do this, I could do that. You don't have to pay me. And then they are, you know what? I don't understand it. And then here you go. Nah, that's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point.
That sounds shady as hell, man. Like.
Yes. You'll be amazed. You will be amazed at how much people fell for those, even in
Seriously.
today,
Seriously.
even to this day.
Man.
Scam is still a very big problem until today. There is last year in 2020. There is just the telephone scam is a thing. Telephone scam is a thing, and the people can, if some people can fail for that, like if people can fail for telephone scam, they can fail for any scam at all,
I have no words. Seriously.
right? Like the telephone scams, the case for my forensic accounting is literally a scam about a wife being called that their husband is dead, not dead in an accident, and then they have to send money.
That's like straight out cliche, man. Straight off the book cliche.
Exactly. You will be surprised. I was like, how come you fell for this? How come you fell for this? But no, it cost Malaysians more than about 2 million ringgit, I think. About 2 million ringgit, if I remember correctly. And it's only what's happening in a span of 6 months last year.
Well,
It's
to be honest,
disheartening.
the scammers are they are an organized crime.
Yes, they are organized crime.
They have
Yes, they are organized crime.
I've read about it once. It it based mostly in India. They use
Yes.
money mules. Honey mules. Like
True.
seriously, they use others people address to send money into their address, and they take the money, real money,
Mm-hmm.
and then they pack it to the headquarters itself. It's crazy, man. How can people have
Yeah, it's crazy.
no heart like that? The targets are usually older people, you know.
You target usually older people as well. Yes, correct.
It's like them, man.
Yeah, it's in human nature to be greedy, but sometimes some people go above and beyond, I guess. Okay, back to the topic.
We got derailed for a moment right there.
Iya, it's okay. Judul acara bincang santai kok.
Yeah, so ya, MSME. UMKM di Indonesia itu memang gimana ya, kita UMKM secara global itu banyak banyak tapi nggak bisa nembus. Itu emang salah satu topik yang paling susah, yang paling sering dibicarakan. Kenapa? Hanya segelintir saja UMKM, MSME itu punch through the big boys, punch through the big numbers. So yeah, maybe by using accounting, not just
They need to get
they
not just accounting,
not
but
just,
they need
but
to
everything.
learn.
Management.
Oh, sorry.
They need to learn everything. Accounting, as you said, is a branch, not only financial accounting, but maybe they should apa? They should
They
study
sh-
more. Should
they should have
have, yes.
they should
But-
have a good business practice.
That's
That is what, and then they should have internal control. That is for sure as well. The good business practice, and internal control, standardized accounting, on all kinds. With those three, you can run it pretty well.
And yeah, for me personally, there should have been a safety net, for MSME by the government. As I am a law student myself, the government, pemerintah Indonesia itu ada bagi UMKM. Kalau di Indonesia itu ada aplikasi akuntansi digital untuk membantu UMKM. Sudah ada banyak program, tapi entah kenapa
Wow,
itu
okay.
entah kenapa itu nggak bisa itu. Mungkin apakah Mr. Dirham ada masukan mungkin untuk saya sebagai law practitioner, bukan practitioner ya, masih I'm still law student.
Semoga menjadi law practitioner, amin. Amin. Gini, semester 2 saya mempunyai kelas accounting information system. Di accounting information system itu, basically accounting tapi computerized. Kami diberikan buku kecil auto count dan juga aplikasi auto count, dan kami diminta untuk mengisi buku itu berdasarkan dari menggunakan aplikasi auto count sesuai dengan apa yang instruksi dalam buku itu. Instruksinya jelas tersusun, dan ada video juga membantu untuk bila kami tidak tahu mana step yang benar, kami bisa melihat video itu untuk reference. Dan Anda tahu apa yang terjadi? Mengikuti itu sangatlah susah. Pindah dari apa yang biasa kami lakukan. Kami biasa menulis dalam Word, kami biasa menulis dalam tulis tangan dengan kalkulator, kami letakkan dalam Excel, lalu kami buat dalam laporan keuangan. Kami biasa dengan hal itu, dan sekarang tiba-tiba kami diberikan sistem baru, sistem digitalized computing. Maksud saya adalah most of the time dan not, sebenarnya menggunakan digital accounting itu sangat bagus, sangat bagus. Di laporan keuangan, laporan kelas saya kemarin pun dari 5 SMB yang saya perhatikan, 5-5-nya akan bisa maju bila mereka diberikan satu good inventory management system, dan satu lagi adalah digital accounting. Tapi inventory system itu gampang diimplement, tapi untuk digital accounting itu susah. Alhamdulillah ya, karena government memberikan itu. Apakah itu gratis aplikasinya?
Gratis, tahu saya.
Dengan maintenance ya?
Nah, semuanya gratis, semuanya asalkan apply. Ada programnya. Ada programnya
kan? Ada program mereka diajarkan untuk menggunakannya juga kan, pasti?
Seharusnya ada, tapi saya kurang yakin di bagian terutama di bagian di bagian sumber daya manusia. Indonesia is lacking, to be quite honest, to be frontally honest.
Itu yang paling penting. Bayangin aja kalau Anda diberikan sistem baru, lalu Anda tidak tahu mana di mana meletakkan aset, di mana meletakkan keuangan piutang, di mana mengatakan modal, dan Anda tidak tahu juga bagaimana cara menginput data, susah. Itulah masalah yang menurut saya. Basically kurangnya normalize teaching untuk hal-hal ini. Apalagi semua course, semua accounting yang saya tahu, semua semua college accounting yang rata-rata semua pasti diajarin computerized accounting. Tapi satu caveat, hampir nggak ada yang aplikasinya sama. Ada saya kenal beberapa teman saya di Malaysia juga. Di Malaysia juga saya kenal teman saya yang accounting juga. Dan kami semua punya accounting digitalisasi yang diberikan dari kampus. Untuk kami bertiga beda tiga-tiganya. Gak ada yang sama.
So basically what needs to be done is not only the infrastructure, maybe the quality of the people that needs to be upgraded, right?
Yeah, they need to be teach. Not they can't just be given. You can't just give them. You can't just give a children a gun and think that the child can kill a bear. No, you can't, right? You have to teach a child, and then it's the same thing. It's the same thing. If you give only the application, and then like, okay, here's the application to help you. Goodbye. How? Right. If they're struggling with normal accounting itself, then they are going to struggle even more with digital accounting without any help. I mean, if with help, then it's actually worse. I mean, look at now. How many of them are actually successful using those? I'd be surprised if even 50% of them are actually think that the digital accounting is helping them.
I think 1% maybe. 1% is quite a small number.
See?
1%.
It's just like that. I don't know, especially with how the current times, right? With the COVID and stuff. I know it's hard. I know everything is harder. There's became because of COVID, everything is going to be hard. But that is the same with everything. Literally everything else. Literally the whole world. Literally, I have to actually quit my job to go to here. Yeah.
So yeah, basically pemerintah seharusnya memikirkan jangan jangka pendeknya, kayak apa ya? Kita pengen government want to flaunt, maybe they want to flaunt. Oh, we have a program, we have a top of the notch program, top of the line. We have digital accounting, we have apps, we have shits like that, you know. But they forgot about the long time management,
Yeah.
the people.
The long term has to be
The people.
Yes, the long term is what makes everything works.
Because apps, things, tools without people, what is it? Nothing, right? That's
Yes.
the point.
Tools in the wrong hand could be deadly. Hence why you need actually to make the people that you give the tools to are the correct person.
This might be a nice reflection for the government, I guess, to think about more
Untuk jangka panjang masyarakat, betul.
Masyarakat bukan hanya untuk hanya sebatas ini program, ini buat program ini demi meluncurkan apa ya, kayak hanya udah program gitu selesai.
Iya, padahal untuk buat program itu menggunakan dana dari pemerintah juga kan? Dana dan itu
APBN dari national,
ya kan?
from national.
Kalau dana sudah bila dana financial sudah digunakan, mengapa tidak dilanjutkan untuk see full through, untuk benar-benar menjadi jawaban. Oke, sekarang COVID kayak bisa buka kelas normal. Sekarang kan bisa seperti Anda sekarang ini membuat Zoom ini. Saya ada di Malaysia sekarang, Anda masih di Indonesia, nggak mungkin kita ketemuan. Zoom, tapi kelas Zoom ini bisa dibuat. Ada Webex juga, ada Google Meeting juga, ada banyak aplikasi untuk melakukan long distance learning atau long distance talks kayak gini. Saya ya itulah reflection aja untuk hal yang sekarang terjadi di Indonesia mungkin.
Oke, mungkin itu aja yang bisa kita terima kasih atas Mr. Dirham sudah datang, sudah menyempatkan waktunya ke sini. Thank you.
Oh, welcome. It's an honor, really.